Hey YouTube, so it's about that time of year to go on another big trip again. We've got a week-long trip planned at the state fair, so naturally it's time to tear into the camper again. And this is a job I've not been looking forward to. So we're back on our Mini Lite here, and unfortunately we're looking at the drain for the gray and black water tank here. So I don't know if you can see all that stuff on the black water tank pipe. So when we bought this camper, I thought maybe that was some kind of insulation, protection, whatever, for to keep rocks from hitting it. So it's right behind the tire here. As we found out last year, it appears to be somebody's poor attempt at a fix for a leaking pipe there. Last year during the fair, that just sat there and dripped the entire time. So after about a week, you can imagine what this backside of the camper smelled like when you walked around back here. So we're not going to do that again. We got to get this taken care of. Unfortunately, I guess the first thing is I've got to cut into all that, see what we've got under there, and see what we can do to fix it, most likely replace it. So in preparation for this job, I have rinsed a lot of gallons of water through this tank, hoping that I can get it, cleaned up at least enough that it's not completely gross to work on. But I guess the first thing that I'm gonna do is just start cutting into this and see what's underneath. I don't know why you would think you could do something like this to patch that up. And oh hey, there's styrofoam. This ain't well, it's coming off easier than I thought. At least they went ahead and did a bad job of it. Oh, it's time for gloves. Okay, now we're better equipped. That is disgusting. Oh, I'm stuck. It's still sticky. Man. Come on. That's neat. This is way more up close and personal than I ever wanted to be with this. Cloth tape? Yeah, that seems like a good idea. There's one more. Duct tape. Okay, time for a little bit of a rant here. If this looks like something that you might do to fix something, or if you've ever done anything like that, stop. This is ridiculous. So the issue with this, so I don't know if you can see that there. That's the crack. That pipe is cracked through there. And some idiot thought that something like this would work. I don't know how many layers of duct tape and some kind of rubberized something or other and adhesive backed rubber sheets and tar, and just quit it. If you can't figure out how to fix something, stop. Don't do stuff like this, because it's not going to work. It makes that much headache for the next guy, and it gives people who DIY stuff a terrible name. This is the kind of stuff that shows up on campers, that used campers, that people have to, you know, buyer beware because somebody's done something like this. I get so tired of seeing people do stuff like this, and I get it if you know, if that broke and they were on a trip or something like that and they just had to get by, okay, do what you got to do to get by, but at some point take care of it before you just pass it on to the next guy. It's so frustrating. And this doesn't look like it's going to be that bad to fix. That elbow will have to come off there. It looks like maybe that pipe might unscrew there, like that fitting clamps on. So I don't get it. I don't know what makes people think something like that would work. Like you could patch a pipe that's cracked that bad from the outside and it worked, especially on something like this that goes down the road and whatever. But man, that just made me, my blood was just boiling while I was taking that off of there, because you had to be some kind of idiot to think that that would work. So let's see what it'll take to get this off the right way. Maybe 5/16. I've got this cheap little plastic T-handle, some of my less desirable sockets, because I don't want to have to clean up my other tools. So looks like a 5/16 on these two screws here, and hopefully we can work this off. That'll work the tank. Okay, I wasn't making much progress by trying to cut at that with a knife or anything, so I'm going to see if I can cut this pipe off, so I can look at that hub and maybe get a better idea of what we're dealing with. If I can do this without cutting any of my sensor wires, the tank sensor wires. Here we go. Okay. I don't really know what's going on here. It kind of looks like there's a pipe on the inside of the tank also that's separate. It's a different color, so it's the black plastic pipe, and then the tank is clear. You can see where it stops. Huh. And that's definitely a color on the outside. Kind of want to cut a slot in there and see if I can pry that apart with something, but I'm also pretty worried about getting into the tank there too. Let's go for it. Got it. Ugh. Okay, so we got it off. That was a little more challenging than I expected, but not terrible either. So the way that that flange was on there, let's see if I get my pieces right. So there was this piece of pipe that's broke off now, but so this actually went inside the hole, and then there's was a piece that slid over the outside also. So the thing is they glued it on with this, like almost like a caulk type of stuff, mastic, I don't know. It's set up fairly hard, but it's still a little stringy. You see, you can pull it apart. So it was just a matter of prying and pulling and getting all that stuff out of there. So the lip of the tank here is still in pretty good shape, or still in good shape. I was worried about cutting into it or anything, and I don't think I did. So now I'm going to take this little wire brush, see if I can clean some of this off without doing anything to the tank, and then tonight I'll have to start doing some shopping online for some replacement pieces. Our parts made it in from Amazon, and pretty happy with that. So our new valve assembly with the quick connect for the hose came in. It's around $35, so I was pretty pleased with that. I was afraid it was going to be more expensive. So we're just mocking things up before we glue anything up here, and then I'll explain what our plan of attack is. So here's our master plan. So when you saw it a minute ago, this pipe was stuck inside. Oh, bump the camera there. So that pipe is stuck inside the tank like that. That's how the original pipe was set up. And then it had another fitting that glued to the pipe and then went around here with a couple screws that held it on. So I searched all over the place and couldn't find any kind of fitting like that. So I wanted to come up with something different. I don't trust just sticking that pipe in and trying to glue it, because part of the reason too is that's like a UHMW tank or something like that. I don't know what it's made out of, but it's not PVC, so it wouldn't glue up very good. So my initial thought was to use a boot like this, a Fernco, and they make these in about 1 million different configurations. But this one, so they have, this is a 3-inch PVC to 4-inch PVC adapter. They make 3 to 3s, but as I was looking at them, I really didn't think that I'd be able to stretch the 3-inch over this, because remember, this ID is the same size as the OD of a 3-inch pipe. So this is the same size as what this is, so I don't think I could ever get it stretched over. So, but I did want something else to seal over that pipe, and I didn't want to just crank this down because this is really loose. I mean, it's not even close to the right size. So what I came up with is I got to measuring around, and a piece of 4-inch Schedule 40 pipe fits just over this, but is a hair loose. So as you can see here, I took a couple of saw kerf cuts on my table saw so that I can squeeze that down with the pipe clamp, or the pipe clamp, hose clamp, and that will help squeeze on that tank and give me a little mechanical support, as well as something to grab onto that I can squeeze onto and seal. And then naturally, this being a piece of 4-inch pipe fits into this Fernco nice. It is obviously a little bit smaller since I took that cut out, but this will flex that much. So what I'm going to do is glue this piece of pipe up and shove it in there. It'll probably scrape most of the glue off. The other thing is like I said, this isn't a PVC tank or anything, so regular PVC glue isn't going to work. And I found this. Hopefully this works. I feel like this is fairly similar to what was on there originally, so we're going to give this a shot and see how it does. It's a really thick rubberized type glue, so hopefully I can get the sealant and the holding strength with this. So we'll give it a shot. We'll get all this stuck together, and then we'll see if we can get the fittings out on the other end. And then of course, naturally, I'm gonna have to paint all this black, because I looked at PVC pipe, or ABS pipe, the black stuff, and it would be fine. I could buy it, but it was ridiculously expensive. It was like, I don't know, $40 or something for a 10-foot stick, and I figured for that we'll just shoot some black spray paint on it. So let's see if I can get this together. You can see there, I've got a little mark there. That's how far we need to go in. I don't want it to go in too far and create a big ledge where the water's got to go around the end of it to come in the pipe. So I want it about as close to flush with the end of that as possible. But all right, let's see if we can get this in here. The camera's gonna have to slide over a little bit. Spin it, try and get that glue slid around good. And now try and get the mark over here where I can see it. Okay. There we go. That looks pretty good there. Now, our ring. I'm going to glue the inside of this ring also. Alright, and then I'm also going to make sure I got plenty in this seam here, so that when that squeezes down, that can seal up together. All right, let's see if we can. And I also, so I really only glued for the most part this back half of it there. That'll be what contacts the tank. So, or at least for the most part, it is. Try and slide this on here without smearing glue all over the outside of the pipe. Okay. And then of course putting that seam on the top so it doesn't cause any issues. Okay, well, so far so good on that. I got that pressed all the way up to the tank here where I can, and then tighten this up. We should be good to go. Now we'll get this set up. You can see I got a mark there as to how far back we need to go. So see if we can get this glued up here. This is like that back connection. It's obviously not going to be good for pressure, but this just being gravity should hold fine. I'm also not priming these pipes when I'm gluing together. Hopefully I won't live to regret that, but I don't think it'll be an issue. I'm going to put this big pipe on first. Oh, should probably try and not get glue on that gate valve, huh? I did just a little bit. We'll see how it goes, but push on there and give a quarter of a turn. All right, that should be good. Now I just got to get this piece weaseled in here. I wanted to do that one first so I could get a good turn on it. I'm way less worried about this piece leaking than that. Not that either one would be good, but I might only glue the pipe side just to keep from getting anything on in that gate valve. That was kind of a bad deal. Like that I think will work. All right, so that's pretty good. I like how the pipes are all together now. I do want to figure out something to brace this up. You can see that's going down the road. That's not going to be good, so we'll see what we can get figured out for that. Well, I kind of got going there and wasn't paying much attention, didn't think about recording. It's like 98 degrees out here, and up until just recently I was out here in the sun, so I was kind of just going, trying to get things done, but things are coming together pretty nice. As you can see, I shot some flat black paint on there, made that look all pretty nice. And I wanted something good to support the pipes. I was going to put some kind of guard on it, and I may still at some point, but probably not right now. This is taking longer than I wanted it to, and I need to get this taken care of. So, but I do have this. I'm a bit of a hoarder, I guess you could say. I try not to be, but I try to only keep useful things around. But that is the side off of an exercise machine, like a cable electric or exercise machine, and it's just one of the sides that covers up the cables. So it's a pretty nice, it's fairly thick without being too thick, and I think that would be a good pan to kind of go under here and protect this pipe. But like I said, it's just not going to happen now. I've been trying to do this bracing with that in mind though. So I had some of this perforated angle iron left over from when we installed my garage door, and I thought that would work pretty well. So it worked out pretty nice that I was able to bolt it into the brackets here on the bottom side of the camper. So I just had to enlarge the holes a little bit, run that long piece, and then I've got a 1.5 inch pipe clamp. That worked out nice. I'm still working on this, so I've got some plumber's tape wrapped around that. I want to support where the hose hooks on and where that valve is really good. So I'm going to put that on there, and then I just got done cutting a little angle brace to go in here. So, well, if I can get the holes to line up, but anyway, however I had it, that way, just as I'm pulling on this and what have you, and the weight of the hose, that'll be nice and strong. So it's coming together pretty good. I'm also leaving these a little bit long so that I've got a place to hook this on maybe in the future sometime. So I'm gonna get this put together and then shoot some paint on it. We'll get it put back on, and this is getting close to the end of the project. All right, I think that does it for this project. I guess I need to take that other cheesy little strap off that they had, but this is good and solid. It shakes the camper before anything else happens. Feels good and solid. I'm really happy with how it came out, and painting all that stuff black really makes it not as noticeable under there. So I imagine this will last us for years to come, and is way better than what they had going on before. So all right, I hope you like this project. If you do, like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.